Okay. All right. So we are high on Instagram, and I think we are live on all the platforms right now. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, good day from everywhere you are joining and watching us from. It's a good day. Busola Ojo, quite a number of people are on. Madam, Sister Alabi, you're welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining. You can please go ahead, share this video, share this. You can share on all the platforms. You can share on Instagram. You can share it on. Sorry, do you share on Instagram? I don't know about that. But I know you can share on. You can share the YouTube page. Share it to your WhatsApp. You can also share to your Facebook page. You can share it on Facebook. It's on about 3 platforms as we speak, and then you can use any of those 3 platforms. Okay, I'm trying to do a little bit of adjustment. Okay, messages are still trying to filter in from right, left, and center. I forgot. They told me something to do last week. as regards disenabling messages and all of that. And so what we'll be discussing this week, we continue from where we stopped last week. As my practice is, I will always want to give an update, especially as regards the COVID-19 case. The more as we see more people dying in our country, Nigeria, it's becoming a case that we need to pay serious attention to. But having said that, I want to say that it's not a cause for anybody to panic or to be afraid. What I've always said to everybody is that take precautions where necessary. Where do you get all these precautions from? Subscribe to the Nutraceutical Solutions channel on YouTube, or you go to our page on Facebook. You will find a whole lot of videos that have been done specifically as regards COVID-19. We've had several COVID-19 roundtable, and we've spoken about so many things: prevention, precautions to take. If you are infected, what are the things that you can do to help yourself? So there's so much we have done as regards COVID-19. I believe somebody has nominated me for an award already, to be awarded for the job done on COVID-19. Well, I told the person I'm not sure that award will fly, but it's okay. But what I'm trying to say is that we've done a whole lot, and I do believe that it's our humble contribution to our generation at a time as this. So if you are still in doubt of anything, you can send in a question. We will send your questions. We'll be glad, to answer them. Good afternoon, Mrs. Olayemi Oyebola. Good afternoon, Madam Julie Lori, Madam Temitope Adekoya. Good afternoon. Gbengoluwase, how are you doing? God bless you. Thank you all for joining. And so it's important for us to know all of these things, use them as applicable. There is no need to panic. I keep seeing videos. Last week was a gory one. This week, the same thing has happened again this week. It becomes a noise when notable people have been taken away by the pandemic. But please help yourself, help your family, and then you can stay safe. For those of you who live in Nigeria, I'd spoken about, I think I didn't mention it here on live. I spoke about this at the bootcamp. For you who live in Nigeria, and if you live in the UK, I've mentioned it as well. There is somebody who wants to take that up in the UK. The complete package of the tea that combines artemisinin and the other recommended nutraceuticals for the solution when it comes to COVID-19. Somebody, Madam Timothy, God bless you. Mrs. Todolarinde, God bless you. Mrs. Abigail Ajiri, God bless you. Omoba Jason, thank you all for joining. Thank you. Okay, so somebody has put it together in a tea bag. It's called bitter tea. These days, I don't even waste my time on COVID-19 case anymore, because for me, I think whatever is left of COVID-19 is now noise, politics, and merchandising. That is, if anybody is making videos, doing this, whatever on COVID-19 right now, I just see the person wants to make money off you. Everything that has to be said has been said. It's still a learning curve. We are all learning, and many other things will come. But I can assure anyone that whatever is going to come afterwards will only be to validate what has been said before. So, for your own health and your own safety, that tea, it's in tea bags. This woman has been doing this for many years. I used to recommend that tea bag I buy it from my parents, because she does her viscous tea, and then she puts it in tea bags. I do buy it for my parents and their friends, and then it helps them. It lowers blood pressure. It handles it handles cholesterol as well. And before this COVID-19, I never knew she's been doing that. And then she's packaged artemisinin, she's packaged the other stuff that are necessary to fight COVID-19 into a tea bag. It is not, we're not selling it as a cure to COVID-19, but what I can guarantee anybody is that it works. So these days, I don't even bother my head to start managing people through all the nights. I remember those rigorous nights when, hey, Prof, who is the Prof? Please, I remember all the rigorous nights when COVID-19 came, the sleepless nights I had, having calls from everywhere in the world, managing patients, clients here and there. You know, it was such a terrible, it was not just a terrible experience for the people that were infected, it was also a terrible experience on my part. I knew how much it weighed on my health and on myself, on my schedule. But these days, I don't even bother to do all of those. I just tell you, go and contact that woman, get her number, get the drink. You cannot take that tea for 2 days. They never born the COVID. Let me say that in German English. They never born the COVID. It will disappear, right? And I have seen it work. I've seen it. I've tested it out. I've tested it on several people. And it's a 2 day. In fact, previously we would spend 3 days. 2 days. They are back on their feet. All the symptoms are knocked out, completely knocked out. So if you live in Nigeria, you want that tea, you can send send a message to this WhatsApp number. I will give you the direct. I will direct you. Let me quickly copy that number, and then I'll put it on the screen shortly. You can get that number. My producer, director, manager, she's back. So I believe today she's going to help me out, put this on Instagram. So just send a message to this number for that COVID-19. I mean, I don't know. The tea is called beta tea. It's NAFDAC approved, but it's not approved to cure COVID. But I know everything in there will undo COVID. So send a WhatsApp message to that number, then I will give you the number to contact. And if you live in the UK, what I'm trying to do is that somebody had said she wants to cargo it to the UK. So I don't know what it's going to cost. I don't know what part of UK she is. And if you want to do that, you can also contact me. They will send it to UK. Then people in UK can contact you for the tea. You can have it. Wherever else you are, I know there can be it can always be a way. Komeno, how are you? Madam BJ Sams, how are you doing? All right, so there will always be a way to send it across to you. You need to get it. I think you should get it. Get it, it's handy. It's both prophylactic and it's preventative. That is, it can prevent and it can cure. Oh, sorry, it's prophylactic and it's curative. Prophylactic and curative, so you can do both. Okay, so I believe that's all for COVID-19. I've rested the case on it, seriously. The rest, like I said, is politics, merchandising, business. People want to make money, and so whatever video is coming right now is just child's play. All right, so let's go back to the one for today. All right, interesting. Last week we started on natural response to women's health, and I want to encourage you to please follow through this series. This is the second of the series. One started last week. We have another one today. And so don't say, I am not a woman. It is not important for me to know this. It's so key that you understand it. If you're not a woman, if you're a man, you are a father to a daughter, you will be a brother to a sister, or you are a brother to a sister, and then you also are a husband to a wife. You are to a woman. You will raise daughters, you will have. So it's important for everybody to be armed with this information. It will always help us to help our female folks and understand certain things that they go through and how to help them mitigate, those crises when they come. There is nothing wrong with you gaining this additional knowledge. So last week I began on the series Natural Response to Women's Health. And I started last week by categorizing the various phases of the life of a woman. I started by the, pre-adolescence, before the age of puberty, and what women go through. And that's likely very uneventful. It used to be until recently that we began to see that it's becoming very eventful. Before I came on the show, I still have in my hand here researches from several scientists all over the world making submissions to the United Nations, WHO, sorry, specifically, had participated in about 2 or 3 sessions on childhood obesity at the WHO, at the United Nations General Assembly, and with special focus on childhood obesity, declaring it a pandemic in several nations of the world. And then we were learning copiously from the experiences and examples of nations that have been able to overcome that. But one of the things that every nation that had gone through that phase as a pandemic, and the scientists that I have been reading and researchers that have been going on has proven, is that this phase, we are seeing a serious rise in children between the ages. In fact, I would normally say from age 8, but there are cases of children between the age of 6 and 7 who had been showing signs of puberty. In all research and in all what scientists had said, we have been saying this before now, but like I said again on the issue of COVID-19, whatever is going to come up in the next days will be to confirm what we have been saying. And so scientists are now saying they are coming to agree with the fact that early menarche would lead to several signs of infections. Several signs of medical conditions, in these young kids. So I'm doing a simple recap in 5 minutes of the things that we spoke about. Good day, Madam Rita. The things we spoke about last week. So I spoke about Thelarche, which is the onset of the female breast development. Madam Sylvia, so you can just focus on Instagram. I think I got it covered for Facebook and YouTube. All right, so I will need you to be paying attention to what's happening. I don't know. I'm sorry. I should have done it the way we agreed to do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So Thelarche is the onset of female breast development, and again, this has been noticed in children below the age of 8, 7, 8, 9. Developing breast, as it were. We spoke about Adrenache last week as well. All right, thank you so much, ma. We spoke about Adrenache last week, which is the awakening of the adrenaline glands to commence production of pubic hair and some other pubic development signs in adolescents. We spoke about Puberche, which is the start of puberty. We mentioned that last week. We spoke about Menache, which is the start of menstruation. And then, like I said, the younger the signs of puberty occur, the more likely a pathologic cause will be found. And so when we are raising these children and at 9, 10, they're already wearing bras, we think it's a sign of good health. But what is going to happen is that when they start early, they rush into it, they may likely rush out of life. And I also said last week that for many people who are listening to me, this probably is the onset of several conditions for many people when they enter into their reproductive years. So the issues with people in their reproductive years did not just start, at that age. A lot of them have been issues that the foundation had been laid in their adolescence. And last week I also spoke about when kids enter into adolescence, what do you call a normal menstruation? And I think I gave about 4 of those things you have to look out for. Periods that are, when is it abnormal? I spoke about the abnormality when it becomes abnormal, because in some cases it's abnormal. When a period is longer than 7 days or it is shorter than 2 days, it's abnormal. It should be questioned. A whole lot of parents don't know this, and they don't even ask these questions. They don't get involved in the health of their kids, especially their teenage girls, because some of these things, if they are caught early, it's easier when they are caught early to now begin to find means and methods and begin to do the right thing. So before they enter into their reproductive years, there are so many issues will have been handled, but we rarely follow these things. We rarely pay attention to them. Right, so we want to pay attention to these things before they get out of hand. So you want to look at how many days is the period. Also, is it bleeding? How heavy is the bleeding? Is it very heavy? When you have to change the the sanitary wear like more than 2 times in a day, that is considered abnormal. That is considered heavy. That's a heavy flow. So we look at the flow also. We look at the quality of the flow. What is the color of the blood coming out? Is it dirty? Is it clean? Is it pure? You don't have to look at. There are so many things that will give you signals and signs that something is wrong with the health of this young person who is growing up to becoming a woman. But in most cases, we overlook them, and then other issues would come up later on in life, right? I also spoke about hirsutism. Hirsutism is a case abnormal growth of facial hair and facial hair, some other part of the body also. You see women who grow hair, facial hair like men. They have beards like myself, and they have hair on their chest also, just like other men. Those are signs. You know, some conditions. In fact, from young age, when these signs are coming up, begin to pay attention to certain things like PCOS, uterine fibroid, fibrocystic breast. You know, so many other conditions are signs. You know, these are some signs that you have to look out for when you see cases like hirsutism coming up. You have cases of moderate to severe acne, which also comes up. All of these are not things to just overlook. They are things to pay attention to, especially in women, in young girls, in adolescents. So I spoke about that last week. You can go and get the tape and then do a recap of the things we did last week. It should be part 1 of the tape. Again, we have to subscribe to the Nutraceutical-led solution so you can get frequent updates of the videos that are coming out. For the whole of this week, from Tuesday to Friday, I address specifically the health of ministers, people of religion, not just pastors. Everybody who is a leader of religion needs to listen to the things I spoke about in the last 5 days. They are all on YouTube as well, because in the days ahead and in the days we are right now, a whole lot of pressure and demand is being placed on people behind the pulpit. So it's a hard work, and then it requires that some of these things be addressed, because there is no medical history for anybody to say they want to follow. There is no medical precedence for them to follow in handling your particular matter. Your case is peculiar because you are exerting your strength physically, you're exerting your energy and your strength mentally, you're exerting your strength spiritually. There is no job that does that, right? So there is no medical precedence for any doctor to follow, so you don't have to follow yourself. So before I go to the class again today, I'm going to today's teaching, the weight loss bootcamp for the month of July, which is going to start July. That is the number to call, just send an SMS to that number and say July bootcamp. I have said the focus of that bootcamp will be for hormone reset. You can encourage somebody to join, invite somebody, tell them, especially those who are in the June class, you have lost enough, you are still losing, and you still have more to go anyway. What I will always promise is that 2 kg is what we guarantee on a weekly basis. And then it's going to run for 12 weeks. So by the end of 12 weeks, you should have lost 24 kg. In the present class, we have found somebody who had lost maybe about 13 kg already in 3 weeks. All right. And then there are people who are still losing and people are still losing. And then it's an interesting class. It's more than just jump up, jump down, don't eat this, don't eat that. There's a lot to be gained. So you can send an SMS to that number. I just say July Bootcamp, and they will give you all the information you need to get in joining that class. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. That is my spiritual father. He just came online. All right. Again, I want to introduce specifically Air Perfect. Air Perfect, I'm not in the habit of endorsing products. I do not endorse brands or products, but wherever I feel like it's going to make you live healthy, I will always recommend them. I do not have any shares in any of these companies, like the tea bag I spoke about. I have no commercial interest, no vested interest in any of them, other than for me to make them known for people that this is where you can get this and get that. Now, Air Perfect I've known for like 7-8 years right now. I got to know them when it was becoming a battle to find organic curry thyme curcumin in Lagos. That was when I got to know them. And then I do recommend them specifically and seriously for your own good health. I believe they can place order anywhere around Nigeria and even outside of the country. I remember they're having a collaboration with some companies in Canada and in China, as the case may be. It's a Nigerian company that is doing very well. It has represented Nigeria and they've gotten several awards because they have remained organic, they've remained true to what they are doing. The numbers are displaying on the screen. You want to get those products from them. Those products are organic, non-GMO. You can vouch for the standard. A whole lot of things, a whole lot of stuff are being packaged by big names and big brands. So when we tell people, do this, do that, they tell me, where did they get the alternative? So I'm giving Health Perfect is one of the alternatives you would need in these days and days to come for your own health. People who are diabetic, the plantain flour is there. Their custard is in 2 flavors. All organic, healthy food. Wheat, their wheat is not GMO wheat. You can get the number down and then contact them. I'm going to leave the number scrolling at the bottom of the screen so that we can go on to the class for today. And so today I continue on what I call from Menache to menopause, the reproductive years. So we have left the adolescent years. Now we want to enter to the reproductive years. And if there are people who have been reproductive in the adolescent years, we clap for you. Well done, sir. What have you gained? It's a good thing anyway for people who have kids before the age of 20. By the time they are 40, their child is 20, they become friends. That's also very good, no problem. But for those people who are just about to enter their reproductive years and becoming, taking issues of reproduction very seriously, let's look at the issues that may come up, and then we will deal with those ones seriously today. There are certain serious issues that women have in their reproductive years, and then I want to list some of them out. Menstrual cramps, fibroids, ovarian cysts, infertility, weight management issues, PCOS, menstrual disorders. All of these are issues with women in their reproductive years. So these issues develop, and like I said, a whole lot of them, their foundations were laid in adolescence. But because of ignorance and not knowing what to do, people just go on to live their lives and think those things will go away. But nothing goes away until you do something about them. I will speak more today about the various types of menstrual disorders that women go through. And so any of this could be what you are going through. All hope is not lost. That is why we are out here today saying some of these things that we are saying. A whole lot of people have taken the suggestions that we have given and they have gone ahead to live a better life. I will say this any day, anytime. Women have over 21 issues that must be addressed in cases of infertility. For men, there are just about 3 issues. That is how complicated, sorry, did I say complicated women are? But it can be complicated. And there is nothing that complicates the issues of women than the fact that they are very hormone sensitive. And it's like you buying, there are certain vehicles that you buy. For example, if you buy a Peugeot 505 or 306, as the case may be, all those old Peugeot cars that you buy, they are not so electrical. You can fix the engine, break it down, repair it, and put a new engine and put it back, and it keeps on. In less than 3 hours, you are done. But you cannot try that with the recent cars that are coming up today because they are very sensitive. There are vehicles that just you unplugging the battery, it can, they say in Nigeria, they will say it entered into code. And then you have to call the manufacturing company wherever they are in the part of the world, for them to give you the code to be able to power that car. And again, it tells you that they have become more sophisticated and more complicated than the previous vehicles we had that you just kick and run and go. The body of men is like kick and run. Nothing happens. They are going. They are not, the word is unique. It's not, okay, thank you, they are unique. All right, thank you very much. I'm also being careful so that they will not come and fire me here. The word is unique. All right, so the word has gone beyond that level, but men are still there. Just kick around and men are going, their bodies are going. But the female body is not wired that way. The female body is wired in a unique way, in a special way, like I've been told. And yeah, they're very unique. And so these disorders could come up in reproductive years. But like I said, the foundation were laid in adolescence, but care was not taken, and that is why they went ahead. The first one is Amenorrhea, which is the absence of menstruation. There are women, they have not yet entered into menopause, but they have ceased to their menstrual period at ceased. Some will have one period in 6 months, 8 months. This is a case that needs urgent attention. One of the causes of that could be PCOS. If there is PCOS, women are likely to have such cases where menstrual period is just it's like once in a year, and they are not yet 40. They are not even 45. So they are still in their reproductive years. I refer to reproductive years from any age between 18 and the age of 45. Right. Again, 45, I don't want you to go to reproduction at 45, except you've not had any child before, you had a delay and you are still trying. Again, I've had to consult for people who are still trying to conceive. Maybe they had a delay in marriage and then they are about 42, 43, and the door of menopause is knocking. There is something we can do to reverse that aging process. There is a lot that can be done. If you can send me a message after this, and then I will handle that. We will deal with that. We can preserve we can still preserve it. You still have a window. There is still a window of opportunity that can still be done to preserve, and so that we can prolong the number of years you have to still continue to keep being reproductive. All right. So there's an absence of menstruation in some women. There are cases of Dysmenorrhea, which is menstrual cramps or painful menstrual periods. A whole lot of women go through this. A whole lot. It's a disorder. It's not the way it's meant to be. Some people have even taken it as a normal way of life, that well, that is the way I'm wired. I'm a woman, so my period comes. Whenever it comes, it's a time of trouble. There are people who take time off work during this period. There are women, whose period is a time of dread. They dread that particular time of the month, but it's not supposed to be. I know cases of women with, that their own case is not even just cramps or painful period. Endometriosis is a different level of pain. It's a different level of disorder and discomfort on a different level. It's on a different plane entirely. But again, the issues with endometriosis is a lining of the uterus wall, which extends beyond normal. And to be candid, I do think and I do believe that it is not supposed to be as medical scientists has put it, and after they have placed it. I've seen so many people who have said they've read everything readable, they've done everything doable, but the question is, what are you reading? Who are you listening to? It depends. It determines the length and the extent you will go in gathering the knowledge that can help you out of what you are going. Okay, let's talk about the next one, Hypermenorrhea, which is excessive or prolonged menstrual bleeding. So, like I said, how do you know that a period is normal? A normal period should be between 2 days to 7 days. The bleeding should be between 2 days to 7 days. The changing of the pad, the sanitary wear should be 1 or 2 in a day. So once it is going to 3, 4, 5 in a day, that is hypermenorrhea. It's a serious case. Some people have their period for longer. I've seen somebody who bleeds for about 2 weeks. I've seen somebody who bleeds for 3 weeks, and that is how their period runs. For in such cases, conception becomes impossible, seriously impossible. There are so many reasons that could be attributable to these conditions, but I'm going to summarize all of them and provide solution as we go ahead. I will call them suggestions, as it were. And Metrorrhagia is bleeding between period, right? Again, this is like having, some people will have their normal period, and then some will call it spotting. Afterwards, they could have the normal period stops, and then they begin to spot for days after. They could spot 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they are still spotting after the normal period. So when that cycle is completed again, they begin their period. 20 days over, the normal period continues. So there is no point in their cycle that they are not bleeding. That bleeding is not happening. A whole lot of situations. Some people, I've seen women who spot during their menstrual period, and then they bleed heavily after period is over. I've seen that kind of situation as well. All of these are disorders. They are anomalies, things that shouldn't happen normally for a regular period, and they are all signals. They show that something is inherently wrong, and what is wrong needs to be fixed for the health of women. And so I will give 4 suggestions today about what to do. And these 4 suggestions, I would advise that you take them seriously for your own health and for the health of those who are around you. Because you may know somebody, excuse me, to take a drink. You may know somebody who's going through these conditions as well. If you want to suggest this to them, advise them, counsel them on what to do. Number 1 is the elimination of sugar and sugary drinks and sugar-laced products for every woman. We cannot shout this enough. We will keep saying it until everybody gets it and they understand the dangers that are inherent in the artificial sugar or the synthesized sugar, the laboratory sugar, which is common in most of the foods that are ingested. It's not just in drinks, it's also in foods. Sorry, I need to put that up there. Okay, eliminate sugar, sugar drinks, sugar-laced products is in foods. There are so many foods that the sugar content is totally abnormal. You want to run away from such in your diet. Many women are guilty of this. I've seen people when they come to me for consultation and I give them a form to fill, which is a normal procedure. I would want to know, what is your diet? What does it look like? Are you on any medication for this condition? Do you have that condition? I do a general evaluation or health assessment, as it were. And then when I begin to see the kind of things they eat, the kind of things they feed on, the ones they snack on, I'll be like, no wonder they are going through what they are going through. You want to eliminate sugar, and I'll give you about 3 or 4 reasons why you want to eliminate sugar. I have spoken about this when the COVID-19 case started. I spoke about the fact that sugar suppresses your immune system. It's about the first video I did on COVID-19 about 3 months back. And I said, if you want to maintain your immune health in the middle of this pandemic, one thing you want to eliminate are artificial sugars. You want to take them out of your diet completely, because they have a way of making your immune system to be dormant. They make them look like a fool. And when your immune system is dormant, there are so many infections that you are open to. If anything comes in at that time, because your white blood cells are looking drunk, they are not able to attack and protect your body as they ought to. So you want to eliminate sugar for that one purpose. They should suppress your immune system. Another reason is that sugar generates free radicals and it accelerates the aging process. You see, I've sat down with so many people. In 2014, we were in Chicago for a conference, and the facility where that conference held had a library. I'm sure that library can take comfortably about 500 people at the same time. And they have several volunteers. In fact, that organization runs on volunteering a lot. And fortunately, I had a chat with one of the volunteers. Most of them are people who are in their 80s, their 90s. I met a couple that was 95 and 93, both of them. And they are still strong. They are standing tall. They are not bent. They are standing tall. They walk around in the library. You know, library job means you walk from one shelf to another shelf, from one high to another high. And they were doing this 95, 93. I had a conversation with a lady who was 85 years old at the time. And then in fact, we were going to take pictures, and she was passing by. We're like, can you help us? And she took the pictures for us. And I said, how old are you? When I asked her how old, I thought she would tell me she's 45. He's 48. When she said she was 85, I said, excuse me, you are 80 what? In Nigeria, and your mates, they are using bed to carry them to go and receive sunlight and bring them back into the house. 85, looking sharp, looking straight, no sign of aging. And I was asking her, what do you do? One of the things she said is that sugar will never touch her mouth. Remember a guy I met in Port Harcourt who told me that for almost 40 years of his life, he has never tasted sugar. Very wonderful. 40 years, no sugar. Touched his mouth. He won't take all the sugar drinks and all the likes of them. A whole lot of people are living a good life. One thing sugar does is that it generates free radicals. It accelerates your aging process. You begin to look older than you should look. It makes you to age faster because of the free radicals that it generates. You want to eliminate it. Sugar makes your body to be acidic. Your body shouldn't be in a state of acidity, rather in a state of alkalinity. One of the things that tune up your body to become acidic is sugar. You want to leave that. Sugar elevates your insulin level. I've said that again because when sugar is reduced into your bloodstream, more insulin is pumped out there. All of these have the roles they play in distorting the hormonal balance. And once that is happening, all of those conditions I mentioned will happen. If there's somebody who is having some of the conditions I talked about for menstrual disorders, sugar is one of the things I always recommend that please take it out of your system and then watch your period. Just take sugar out for a complete cycle, then watch what happens and come and give me the report in the next cycle. And then they often come back and say, wow, it's a whole lot different. I didn't have the kind of pain I used to have and all sorts. You need to eliminate sugar. Number 2 suggestion is that you should eliminate or reduce dairy products. And when I say reduce, I'm saying reduce because I know there are good examples of dairy products, especially those that are that are grass-fed or free range, as the case may be, but they are not common. In most cases, you find a whole lot of dairy products. They are grown for commercial purposes. And I think I gave an example of that last week. When you see a cow that should take like 2 years to get to the stage of lactating, that cow is infused with and laced with growth hormone factors that make the cow to begin to lactate in less than 6 months, in about 6 months. In America, we learned that from an egg to become a frozen chicken, there are some they do in 3 days. 3 days, and you call those ones chicken. Whatever process has gone up there, if you ingest such a food, it has some adverse effects on your own health. And these are the signs, the things that people are seeing, the experiences that people are having. You want to pay attention to that. You want to pay attention to that. I will tell you some other reasons. I told you about the growth hormone factors that are injected into cows. They don't disappear. People ingest them. As you ingest them, then you begin to express those things that those hormone factors were supposed to do in the cows. They also happen to you. Antibiotics are used to raise some of these cows, So there are so many things that you want to pay attention to. Lactose intolerance for some people is a major issue. So I will advise for like in the case of sugar, there are alternatives. Alternatives are stevia, organic stevia. There are some that are being produced right now with a different name that I do not support, but get stevia, organic stevia. If you live in developed countries of the world, if you live down where things are not too, stevia might be too expensive for you. Date is a very good alternative for sugar. Raisins are also good alternatives for sugar. You can use any of these moderately, and then you will be fine for yourself, for your children, for your entire family. These are alternatives that are sustainable. At the long run, even if you check the prices as well, the prices are still better off than you consuming sugar and putting sugar into your meal. And for dairy products, there are several examples. There are several alternatives. Just yesterday, I saw this. I don't know. I'm still going to research on it. I'm going to do more research on it. But all I've read so far shows that it's plant-based. They have done what is called, again, it's a brand name. It's the name of a company. The company is called Go Beyond. And then the product itself is Beyond Meat. If you are living in the US, in North America, Subway is one of the major stores that is selling Beyond Meat. What they have done is to use plants to produce meat. It gives you the chunky beef meaty feel. And really, I tasted a few and it was really good. And I was like, seriously? Somebody did this? Oh yeah, you can. Right. So you want to use that as an alternative. If so, if you know, in Africa we love the animal protein so much. It's like a sign of health and wealth for us in Africa. Okay, so you want to use that as an alternative, one alternative for dairy products and animal products. Another alternative would be for the milk. You have the tiger nut milk, you have the coconut milk, you have rice milk, you have oat milk. We call this milk plant-derived milk or plant-based milk. Now, let me say this, that of every mammal, humans are the only mammals who still take milk after they have been weaned. We don't need the milk. I even see some men who are not ashamed. They are still dragging their wife's breast with their children, with their baby. So after baby is done sucking, they are not just sucking for sexual pleasure, they are drinking the milk. You don't need milk anymore. It's only babies who need it in infancy. Once you leave that stage, your body don't need that milk. My advice is that use plant-based milk. Use plant-based milk. Use plant-based milk, as it were. It will be helpful. It will help your health. They give you, in fact, some of them are so medicinal in the sense, for example, almond milk. Almond is another kind of milk. So there are so many plant-derived milk that you can get. You can go for them and use them. It helps you. It helps your system. It helps your body. It helps to even normalize some of the conditions that animal-based milk creates. The plant-derived milk have a way of reversing or normalizing them. Yeah, if you go for them. All right. So I want to suggest again, because of my time, that you eliminate heavy metals. We'll also say this, that starts from your cooking utensils that you use in cooking, your aluminum cookware. You want to deal with them and go for stainless steel, heavy stainless steel, or the other healthy cookware that we've always advocated. For the sake of those who are hearing us for the first time, I would mention those healthy cookware. You have your titanium cookware. If you cannot afford that because of the cost, you go for heavy stainless steel. All I've always said is that go with a magnet, run the magnet around the pot. If any part of it does not attract the magnet, it means it is fake. It has been mixed with aluminum and some other things. You want to drop that and go for some other pots. You could get ceramic pots. You could also use earthenware, the cocoa, what they call the cocoa ammo, right? You can also use that. It helps you. It gives you a whole lot. It saves the nutrients that is found in your food. So you want to use that as an alternative. Okay, so you want to avoid the use of aluminum cookware, and especially those ones that they call non-stick. See, so many women talk about non-stick. It's like the cookware that became popular in the last 2-3 decades. And in the last 2-3 decades, you have seen the rise in cancers among women, because that thing they use in coating that pot that made it non-stick is called Teflon. And when you check Teflon, just carry your phone as I'm talking to you, check Teflon. Cast iron is good. Check Teflon, and then Teflon, it will tell you, is a class 1 grade A carcinogen. It is carcinogenic, meaning it is cancer causing, right? And that is what many women, they feed us also with it. They say they're buying non-stick cookware. It's dangerous. It's not fitting for any kitchen. It's one of the most poisonous things that should be found in your kitchen. So if you have any, repent today. And I was teaching on this. I was having a health seminar, and a lady came to meet me after the seminar and be like, "My own is original. I bought it for $2,000." I said, "Hey, it's not working. $200 is not about the price. It's about the fact that it contains that substance called Teflon, which is used in coating it. So it comes in that color black. So that is Teflon. That Teflon is carcinogenic. You don't want to use such a cookware to feed your family or yourself as women. I have a lot of sentiment for talking about women's health because women do a lot. It's always a painful one for me when I see a woman that passes on in the middle of her years. It's so painful because I can't imagine somebody who had gone through personally alone the stress of all of these things I've just mentioned, and then never live well enough, to enjoy all she labored for. Talk less of the stress women go through in marriage, the stress they go through in career. If you live in the developed countries of the world, they will tell you even white women are not finding it easy in corporate America, in corporate Canada, or corporate anywhere you can think of. So it is even worse if you're a black woman. So a white woman is not different. So people talk about in advanced country, it can't happen. Who told you? The discrimination against women is a serious thing all over the world. It's not in Nigeria. It's only in Nigeria. Nigerian women, is a lie. It's all over the world. It's all over the world. Women are going through abuse, serious abuse. So a woman goes through that, raise the children, and at the end of the day, she just dies in 42, 37, 38. Why? For things that can be avoided, that can be managed, and majorly due to ignorance, So this is liberation. Let's take away all those heavy metals, aluminum, and the likes of them. IG is frozen. Shows me it's moving here. People on IG, can you please confirm that IG is up? Because it's showing me that it's going on live. Can anybody confirm to me what's happening on Instagram? Can anybody confirm to me what is happening on Instagram? I just got a message right there that it's frozen. I want to confirm that, please. Oh my word. Picture is frozen? That's strange. What could be going on? Okay, it's up. Wow. Yeah, somebody says it's good. My neighbor says it's good. It's only distant people that are okay. I don't know what's going on. All right, we'll try to manage it till we finish. Till we can round this up. Okay. All right. So, and the fourth one that I will advise for women today is that please, your relationship with your doctor should be based on knowledge. It's good in our neighborhood. Yeah, it's good. Our neighborhood now. Your relationship with your doctor needs to be based on knowledge, not on fear. A whole lot of women are not able to. Sorry, 1 second. It's working now. Thank you very much for confirming that to me. Many women are not able to maintain a meaningful relationship or have a meaningful engagement with their healthcare provider. Most times it's based on fear. Sometimes also discrimination comes in, either because you're a woman or because you belong to a different race. My advice every time is this: the customer is king. In healthcare, it's king. I said I'm going to start a campaign after I want all this Black Lives Matter to die down. And then I want to start the real Black Lives Matter campaign, which is the fact that the systemic racism in healthcare is the worst of all the racism. Yes, I understand the one that comes up in the case of economic. The economic racism too is strong. Very, very strong. Right. Good evening, man. It's very strong because when purchasing power is not there, which is where it all starts from, the purchasing power is not there, so they don't want to do many things. I've mentioned that so many medical conditions that are tagged or found mainly among people of color. There is no funding for research. There is no funding for anyone to provide cure for those conditions, what you find mainly is management. And this is happening everywhere in the world. In this COVID-19, whatever, they say the elder will put word in his stomach. There are many things I am stomaching. Many things that if I begin to talk, we shake many things. But let's just keep quiet and just go on. But my appeal will be to you, you're a person of color. The truth is that you walk into any medical center or any healthcare facility anywhere today in the developed country of the world, hardly will you get 2% of the member of staff, especially those who are consulting, of your own color or of your own race. The person who is going to attend to you already has a racial bias because of your color. Apart from the fact that all the kind of treatments and the study and the model which they have been trained in to handle people who are sick, none of them has taken into consideration your peculiar race. The reason the death of people like Professor Deji Alabi, people of Professor Olukoye Ransom Kuti, it's a great loss to the medical field in Africa, not just Nigeria. People talk about Dr. Shebi, right? I never knew him when he was alive. I'm just beginning to read some of his books and his works. You know, because they believe that a whole lot of disadvantage is being put on people of color because no research is being carried on. And the things that could be done to help people of color, we are trashing them in the name of religion. Because our cure is in our food and our culture. I began to have a musing about 2 weeks ago that every culture has gotten a science. Every culture has their own science. Every culture. If there is a culture without a science, that culture is yet to evolve. Every culture has its own science. If we talk about Yoruba culture, they have their science. The Igbo culture, they have their science. Every culture in the world, they have their own science. It would be wrong for anyone to go to a culture and tell them their science is wrong. It will be very, very wrong, except you have scientific proof to prove their science is wrong. If there's anything you know more than what they know, what you should do is to tweak it and to help them to advance it, right? So my advice is that please engage your healthcare practitioners with wisdom, not with fear or with timidity. Don't accept whatever anybody tells you as final. My advice is seek a second or a third opinion. If you can, try to look around, especially for people who live in the United Kingdom where the NHS controls the healthcare there. It could be impossible because the moment you go to somebody, your whatever is logged in, you can't go to another for the same condition, except you want to pay out of pocket. That is one of the problems again when the healthcare system is controlled centrally. You know, but try as much as possible to get a second opinion, to get a third opinion. So once I've met women who would tell me they just went to their gynae and the gynae gave them a birth control. Ask them, are you doing this? Does this work for you? And they take it on, not knowing those birth control methods are hormone sensitive and will trigger some other things in their lives as they go on. And they just take them on. And you ask them, are you aware of this kind of birth control method? They're not aware. They didn't tell you, nobody told me. They just gave you something and you put it on your body, on your system, and you begin to carry it just like that, without knowledge, without information. I'm aware, I had a case of a patient who told me, maybe you need to follow me to see my doctor, my consultant for my next appointment. And I was like, really? Why? She told me that whenever she gets there, before she says her problems, doctor is finished. They don't even want to listen to her. They treat her like she's mad and she doesn't know what she's saying. But this is wrong. It's totally wrong. It's not Nigeria. This is not Nigeria. Because people now are saying that can only happen in Nigeria. When people say that statement, I just laugh. They say in Yoruba land, it's because you have not walked too far. You've not walked long enough. That's why you have not seen a squirrel that has a hunch in his back. If you walk long enough, you will see one that is crippled. You will find a lot happening. The healthcare system in America is a scam. They are watching me now. They can't do me anything. That one is the biggest scam of all. So if you are living in that system and that is what you base your entire life on, you are fooling yourself. Wake up before it is too late. Take responsibility for your health and the health of your family. Learn certain things that can work for you. I've said it before. Most of the treatments, medications for cancer, none of them had clinical trials run on people of color. None of them. What I'm saying is on record. You can go Google and find out and search. Let them tell you what clinical trials were done for people of color. There was a time, a case where we were trying to find out researches on a particular case. You would not believe that, I won't mention the name of the prestigious university in the United States of America. The only reference to people of color they could make was from a research done by a professor at the University of Ibadan in 1972. 1972. And let me tell you, this has to do with mental health, because that research has to, let me tell you, the research has to do with dementia and Alzheimer's. Even right now, as we speak, for people of color in America, African Americans, Africans together, most of the medications for Alzheimer's, for dementia, none had any clinical trial for Black people. Right now, last year, they began to call for Black people to come forward to be tested. And you see the reason, when you find, I was saying that on the program during the week, you can find 100 people who have survived cancer who are white. Before you find 2 that are people of color, you will walk that survive cancer. Why? All the method of treatment, the medication used, the method of treatment used, they were not tried on people of color. They were tried on white people. So they have been able to, tweak it here and there to be able to satisfy them. I mean, to be able to be convenient or to accommodate all the excesses. We don't react to medications the same way because of our melanin pigment, which controls so many other things in our body and in our system. Again, I would say avoid all the, approach all of these things with understanding, not with timidity as a woman. It is your body. Do you remember, if they will ever tell you that no 2 pregnancies are the same? The same is applicable. Your body is not the same thing as the body of the next woman sitting next to you. If 2 pregnancies you carried in the same body will not be the same, you won't have the same experience. So why would you believe that what somebody said is our own experience will be your experience? The reason you have to know your own body, number one, and then take your time to understand what you are to do or what somebody is recommending for you before you dive into it and take it on line, hook, and sinker. In the next few minutes, I will talk about the Nutraceutical Health College, which is going to come up in August. It's going to cost $200 to participate in that school. It's going to run for 4 Saturdays in August. And people are already registering for it. It's not going to be a large class, so limiters are available. You can send a message to that number there to register for the class. The certificate of completion will be given, which will make you a healthy living enthusiast. So you can beat your chest anywhere and say, I'm a healthy living enthusiast. This is for your good health and the health of other people. The things we'll be discussing there, or that you'll be taught there, are the things that will help you and also help other people, in their health. It can also help you to help other people. We talk about the etiology of diseases, all these natural responses and disease reversal. We'll be talking about them there. We talk about nature care in terms of food, nature care in terms of herbs, nature care in terms of elements. Proper teaching is for 1 month, every Saturday in 1 month. In the month of August is $200. All right, thank you very much, everybody. I hope that I've been able to, help you a bit. Next week, we will continue on this series on natural responses to women's health, to the health of women. I really appreciate you for taking that time to be on this show and this program today. I hope to see you again next week. Till I come your way, stay healthy. Coronavirus is real. Don't mind what anybody is saying. It's real. My prayer is that you not come near you or near your family. Amen. Thank you. My brother, okay. We will see to that. Oh, wow. Thank you, everybody.